Don't make this mistake if you call yourself a tutor. You're losing so much money and you don't even know it. And the worst part is that teachers, tutors, and educators, they actually help people. They're on the front line teaching people, educating people, and they're actually making a difference. The problem is they're making a difference for a very small number of people, and they're not getting paid as much as they should get paid, and as much as they're worth, and they deserve to get paid. And that's a problem because it's not sustainable. And a lot of times teachers and tutors and educators, they contact me, as well as coaches and experts and consultants, and anybody really who is selling information online and teaching other people. They contact me and they make this mistake, and it just makes me cringe. I just want to pick up my computer and throw it out the window because I know that they are worth so much more than what they're getting. And it's really frustrating. Now, if you don't know me, my name's Christopher from teachingrevolution.com, where we help you sell the knowledge and information you already have to people who need it. And a lot of times what I do is just make these small fixes that end up making people thousands and thousands of dollars more every month. And that might not be a big difference in some people's worlds, but in a lot of teachers and tutors' worlds, it is a giant difference. So today I'm going to tell you about that. And before I do that, I just want to give you some background, because there are a lot of teachers and tutors and educators and experts. They just have this category that they put themselves in. They have a name that they call themselves, and then they get locked into this box. And it's really sad for me to see. And they're kind of perpetuating this stereotype in society that teachers and people who teach don't get paid a lot. And that's absolutely not true. It's just a stereotype. You can choose to believe it or not. And I choose not to, because I've made millions teaching and selling courses and selling lessons and actually helping people. And you can do the same too. So let's fast forward to a situation that happened to me. Well, it happens regularly, but just this morning it happened. And that's why it's fresh on my mind. I wanted to share this with you. I was having a conversation with someone who calls themselves a tutor, and I asked them, "What do you sell?" Fair question, right? And they respond and they said, "I'm a tutor." I say, "Okay, but like, what do they buy from you?" And she says, "Well, I'm a tutor. They buy me. They buy lessons with me." They didn't really get it, right? This person doesn't really get it, because nobody buys you. Sure, it helps them buy. They want to buy from you. And if they like you enough, if your personal brand is strong enough, then they might just buy everything that you offer. And that's great, but they're not buying you, right? Like, you're not a thing to be bought. What they're really buying is an outcome. They're trying to solve a problem, and you're helping them solve that. You have a solution, and that solution brings them to a desired outcome. So what they're trying to achieve is the outcome, and they're buying a solution to a problem, which gives them this outcome. And if you were not able to deliver that outcome, or if they didn't believe that you could, then they wouldn't buy, right? It's not that they're buying you. And that's the big mindset shift that a lot of people need to make. You're not just selling tutoring. When you do that, you're significantly decreasing the value of what you do, because you're making yourself a commodity. There's tons and tons of tutors. There's lots of tutoring services. And if you just call yourself a tutor and you think of that as what you do and what you sell, then you're really limiting your potential. Because what you do is you get a big outcome for someone. You solve a big problem. You provide a transformation. And that's really the biggest thing that you can offer someone, right? They don't have something before, or they aren't something before. And after they work with you, they have it or they become it. That's so much more than just being a tutor. If someone asks you what you sell or what people buy from you, you should not say that you are a tutor. That just rings alarm bells in my head, right? Like, imagine students come to you and they're like, "I want to work with you. What do you offer?" And you're like, "I offer tutoring." Well, that's not what they want. Like, nobody out there is actually looking for tutoring. They're looking for the result that tutoring provides, right? They're looking for the outcome that they get by being tutored by someone. Nobody is just buying you. And as soon as you realize that and you make this shift in not only the way that you speak about this to other people, but the way that you think about it yourself, you will make so much more money. Now, one of the things I do when I work with people is I tweak some of the parts of their marketing or their sales process so that this transformation aspect is communicated more clearly. And a lot of times, it doesn't involve any change in the actual product or service that you're delivering to people, right? If you already have a course, you don't have to go remake the course. If you already teach a certain curriculum, you don't have to go change that either, right? All you have to do is change how you talk about it to other people and how you think about it so that you can communicate that verbally and non-verbally. And we could get into that in another video. But for a lot of tutors and teachers, they're making less than $10,000 a month. And for those people, I have a step-by-step system that describes how I went from $2,000 to over $2 million in my own teaching business. And the link will be under this video. It's called The Catalyst. But then there's people who are making over 10,000. They're making maybe 30,000, 50,000, and they're trying to get to 100,000 a month. And I know some of you who are watching this might be tutors and might be thinking, that's bull, right? Nobody makes 100,000 a month. Let me tell you, there's a lot of people who make 100,000 a month, okay? And the only limit is right up here. The only limit is calling yourself a tutor, putting yourself in that category, and then believing that that's your limitation. And I know that that sounds like a bunch of psychology mindset BS. Believe me, I was in the same boat for a long time, okay? Every time somebody told me, oh, you need to work on your mindset, or you need to shift how you're thinking, I was just like, come on, like thinking differently can't really produce more money. That was the whole problem because I was measuring things the wrong way. And some of you might be stuck in this thinking also. So this might be really useful if you're receptive to hearing it, right? So one of the traps that a lot of teachers and tutors and educators and even coaches and consultants and experts fall into is the hourly rate trap. They're always trying to increase their hourly rate and measure everything by their hourly rate. The problem is nobody gets a big result or outcome just in an hour. So if you're just selling individual hours, then psychologically what's happening to your customer or your client is that at the end of that time that they've paid for it, they want to see a result. Even if they know in their minds that you can't get that result in just 1 hour, they've made an exchange of money for your time, and they psychologically are searching for some kind of sign, some kind of win, some kind of milestone or benchmark that says that they've made an improvement. Sure, you can have a small improvement in 1 hour, but it's very unlikely that you're going to get them some big result that can really change things for them in just 1 hour. And so the first shift that you can make is what I call the 1-5-10. If you're watching the video and you're going to fast forward to the most useful part, this might be it for you. This is a pricing strategy. And basically what you do is you take your target hourly rate and you sell a package of 10 lessons for that rate. And then you make it a little more expensive for the package of 5. And then you make it a little more expensive if they just buy 1 hour. And what this does is it incentivizes people to buy a larger package, and it also pushes the expected result or the outcome that they're looking for further into the future. Now, it doesn't have to be 1-5-10. You could do a package of 20, 30, 50, 100. It doesn't matter. If you are stuck selling your time, which we can get into later about how to get out of selling your time and just sell value instead. It's a big topic that we go into in the Catalyst program. But if you're stuck selling time and you don't know how to shift out of that, or you're not confident to do that, or you're not looking for help to do that yet, then at least packaging the hours that you're selling can be a game changer, because you're collecting more money up front and you're pushing that expected outcome a little further into the future, so you have more time to help them get there. And when I first started online as a teacher, that's what I did. And what I ended up seeing was that the people who bought the packages of 10, they tended to buy more packages of 10. And the people who bought 1 or 5, sure, some of them stayed and kept buying, but unless they upgraded to 10, then they didn't stay very long. The people who bought 10 always stayed longer. That might be counterintuitive to a lot of people because they're paying more up front, but it seems cheaper to the customer. So that's why they do it. So when I talk to teachers and tutors and people online and they ask for my help and I say, well, what do you sell? What do they buy from you? And they just tell me a category or a profession or, just a term like tutor, that's a warning sign. That's a red flag, right? I mean, first of all, I know that they're not someone that I can work with in my higher level programs to get, above 10,000 a month, because they're stuck in a place where they are limiting themselves. So if you are under 10,000 a month, click the link under the video for the Catalyst. Go check that out. Definitely worth it. It just has all the steps. It's completely step-by-step, all the stuff that I did, and I'll support you in it. If you're over 10,000, like closer to 30 or 50, then my accelerator is something that might be on the table for you, but I suggest just booking a call with me first so we can make sure that we're on the same page. You don't have to buy anything. You can watch this video. You can implement the 1-5-10 strategy I just told you about, and you can really take to heart what I'm saying about categorizing yourself and then making yourself a commodity. We have another video about that, about decommodifying what you offer so that you stand out in the marketplace, so that it's more transformational, so that you're not just like everyone else. You have to be differentiated. And when you just call yourself a tutor, you're really, cutting yourself short. You're leaving a lot of money on the table. So I hope that's helpful. And that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.